All right, and as we jump into game, we have Woong on the screen. We can see him going down to the bottom of the map by himself. It looks like he is going to try and just guard that tri-bush for anybody to come through and invade the blue. They also have, again, Lux and Maokai in that mid, but they are freak. They went around that top brush, and they are going to be just hanging out there. They see a shot coming through. Looks like Jace not choosing a skill yet. Yes, he actually did choose Q for this. See what they do. Blitzcrank Jace up top. That still gives them a bit of crowd control in that position. Most of it in mid, though, with Cloud Templar and Rapid. And again, just Woong down bottom. And I like that with Woong. Obviously, Misfortune getting that passive movement speed. So if she sees anybody, she's out of there.
And I want to call attention to actually the Team Solomon's Wraith Brush. So they saw, Azubu Frost saw that TSM shoved that top lane, and a lot of people went up there. So Cloud Templar made the move into TSM's jungle and tossed a sapling down there at that brush by the Wraith camp, which allows them to see just what TSM is trying for. And now with that extra vision, plus that ward in the top river, now Azubu Frost feels a lot more comfortable, and they're actually making their own moves, aggressing a lot in this bottom lane. You can see Reginald leading the way as Karthus, using layways to check brush and make sure that the opponents are not waiting for them. So both these teams actually making their ways into the game, trying to look for something aggressive to do, and scouting out along the way, making sure they're not getting flanked as a result. You can see Azubu Frost just pinged the opposing Lizard camp. They're going to make an invade for this brush.
All right, so I was a little wrong here. They didn't go to the Golem bush. They went straight for the red bush. And they are going to try and dodge that ward in that barren area, but they did not. A bottom take here, just on the other side of the wall. No cat and mouse to be played, though, unless Xpecial starts to pull up towards red. He's not going to find himself in trouble. No, he gets vision of them. They now know 3 are in the base. The pings start to go down. They say, can we close them in? You saw the ping behind red go in if Reginald can get himself down there. But he really does not want to mess with this. We can see him making no movements, and they're looking to just get some cheeky grabs over the wall. 3,000 gold to 3,000. Looks like the counter jungle was pretty much countered itself by the odd one, going for the Wraiths.
Yeah, I think this was overall I think it went better overall for Team Solomid. They knew the opposing team had a much better invade lineup, and they had to do something to sort of pull that lead back and not really get destroyed in the invade. Now, the one sad thing, though, for Azubu Frost is Cloud Templar's got Lizard instead of Golem, so his jungle speed's a little bit slower than he wants it to be, but ultimately the odd one, running around a Shyvana, she's always going to have a faster clear than Maokai anyway, so it's not really the end of the world to be a little bit slower than your opposition. Overall, he did save his smite. Cloud Templar's happy to use that now on this Golem and keep himself in the jungle.
So TSM, I believe the first one while running Shyvana or Shen in the jungle is going to be giving that to her. Usually you see it going to that top laner or mid laner very fast, but Odd One keeps that for himself. The grab down bottom just missing, and it looks like Mad Life forced back until he gets that cooldown back up again. Jace against Darius up top. So Dyrus looking to go against one of his main champions in that pool. Should have this lane pretty well, but Shy staying in that long range ability form so he can get that poke out.
Yeah, they tried to gank that bottom lane a little while ago. You can see actually Dyrus right now. She's stuck in the brush. He knows he's against a long-range champion who can attack him every time he goes for a minion kill. So what Dyrus is doing is he's sitting in the brush and waiting out for the odd one to go for a gank here. He's also only leaving the brush to go for a last hit. He's going to keep playing passively, and he'd actually like to have Jace jump in on him. If I were, unless he kind of reads it, he could try to bait out Shy for a push.
Here we go. Shyvana coming from the backside. Flashed over. The exhaust goes down. But that's huge for that top lane. Shy now must play a bit more careful. Jace can get movement speed with that flash down. Wow, so much aggression coming from him. He knows the limits of what he has right now in that situation. Continues to do damage in Cloud Templar. Now looking for the counter gank. Knows that health is low. With the exhaust down, this now becomes his fight in the jungle. I believe that was just cleared. No, the odd one caught him on the backside of view, and he knows to go outside of the jungle.
Well, it doesn't matter too much anyway. Actually, Odd One's still lurking around that sapling, acting as a ward so that Cloud Templar is not aggressed on, and then puts another sapling down, really taking stock of what's in the jungle. Reginald clearing out that Wraith camp for the Odd One. He found out eventually that it did get invaded upon, seeing that Maokai had the red buff. They knew he went for that steal early on. So Reginald, taking his time out of mid lane to clear that out and ensure the Odd One had a chance here. Mad Life still lurking in this bottom brush. This is the difficulty here. Xpecial, he's still got a ward, but he's playing confidently enough, saying, we don't need to ward out Blitzcrank. We know he can stand in a place where we're safe from that rocket grab, and that's pretty confident to say, they don't need the vision. They can still just survive those situations. And they're really refusing to take any damage in this bottom lane. You're seeing them split pretty equally, but here comes Cloud Templar in mid. No, Reginald still with the vision to know that he could be safe by just walking down. Still no Summoner's Burn. TSM are playing this one pretty accurately in all their lanes.
Cloud Templar just itching to get an initiation down there, realizing that Reginald still has his flash up, did not want to be caught under the turret that far. Blitzcrank moving around here, knows he put himself in kind of a sticky situation, but he returns to lane as he goes to ward. Looks like Mad Life is going to throw that over the bush if he decides to. Nope, just walking around actually, not really doing much for his lane right now. Leaving MF off in the distance, Woong forced to be back on this minion wave. And we see the odd one coming in, a 2-2 top. Both tops and junglers now present in that area, but they return to their jungle. Usually this is when you see somebody else go in for that counter, but they both just figured to step out of it. The lane is quite pushed for Dyrus right now, and he is going to not have a ward for himself. He's got to be very careful of this play, just seeing Maokai up top.
And this is really a difficulty here for Team Solo Mid, is right now Azubu Frost knows that they don't need to be afraid of the odd one. Shyvana does not have any natural crowd control until level 6, which is just a small knockback on Dragon form. So without Exhaust, he really can't exert a lot of pressure, especially now once the Lizard buff is timed out. Shyvana doesn't contribute a lot to a gank overall.
No.
But here comes the push on a Dyrus.
Dyrus getting hit up to the skies, only does a little bit of damage. The Twisted Advance goes down, and the CC backwards as well. They're trying to keep Dyrus in. The ultimate from Rapid Start coming out, and this looks like Dyrus will go down for first blood. Not able to get out.
Guess you don't need to be cautious to hit people from across the lane. Nice move by Rapid Star. You know, and that was team coordination saying, guys, we're ganking Dyrus. Rapid Star came up, just walked halfway up the river, and landed a really, really good final Spark ultimate there, just knocking a lot of health off of him. Really good opening. This is actually a great setup here. Shy is going to just pull that 1 kill ahead. That's all he needs to snowball ahead of Dyrus. They can ignore top lane the rest of this game, and Shy will keep building an advantage here.
Rapid Star getting an assist there, but doesn't have that much more gold off it than Reginald. He's only about 100 more gold in the lead. A pull down bottom lane. It looks like they're going to be quite aggressive here onto Xpecial. The Ignite goes down. No, the Grievous Wounds onto Xpecial rather, and they will force this one. Mad Life just on the backside. Can he get a Power Fist in? There it is. They could be going for Xpecial. The second kill comes in. Requiem takes down Woong, and here comes the odd one. The General to set up a kill for Chaos, and he actually takes it for himself.
Nice move there by Solo Mid. Cloud Templar coming down. It should be safe overall. And that was a really, really nice move. And I think a bit of over-aggression. And I got to hand it, though. Xpecial played that situation so very well. Now, the pull kind of sucked. I don't think he expected to bait a fight that hard. But once they finally came in, he waited. He waited until Misfortune overcommitted. As soon as she did that, power core to the face, exhaust, and then said, okay, go for it, Chaos. And Chaos spent all of his time just focusing down and making sure Woong just took fatal damage there. As soon as they saw Woong was low enough to die to Requiem, he immediately switched. He let Woong sit there with Requiem on his face and said, yep, you will die. I'm just going to go ahead and start focusing down onto Mad Life's Blitzcrank. That was these players knowing their own limits so very well, knowing the damage of Requiem, and knowing that Xpecial could force MF to overcommit and just turn that around for a kill.
Cloud Templar playing the odd one at his own game of super counter jungling. They have the red timer and they steal it once again, just about a minute after it came up. So they're really on that 10,000 gold to 10,500 gold, and neck and neck at 2-2 here at 8 minutes and 30 seconds. A lot of summoner spells are up. Dyrus's flash is down, so he's playing quite passive in his lane right now. We do see the support Blitzcrank being a little bit aggressive down bottom. He's got to be careful. Flash and Ignite are down as well. So we are seeing that Chaos and Xpecial could really have the upper hand in this next fight. However, Xpecial with Crescendo is also missing Exhaust and Flash.
Yeah, right now the fighting potential is so much stronger here from Ezreal. Having that phase really allows them to bully the opposing lane. If Blitzcrank ever overcommits and they get a phage proc on him and slow him down, there is no recourse for that Azubu Frost lane. They don't have a lot of defensive tools. The slow from Misfortune is not very powerful. Blitzcrank's only crowd control is in melee range, and no one from TSM, except for the odd one or maybe Dyrus, is really going to walk into that range there. So there's really no defensive tools here for Mad Life.
Apprehended, and the Dragon Descent goes down. The Flash once again, and the Exhaust forced onto Shy. The bleed is there. Is Requiem up? No, it is not. Shy will stay alive, but with a sliver.
And now he feels safe once more. The crowd controls have been burned. There's no flash on Dyrus, no ignite, nothing there for the odd one either. And even though he has almost no health left, he knows he can stay in lane as long as he dodges that hook.
Bottom lane is getting aggressed on here. The Power Fist again, once onto Sona. Chaos left to do damage, but it's going to be a 3v1. Cloud Templar there, and they just missed the long-range grab on Chaos and the laser from Lux.
And at the same time, though, Shy picked up that kill on the top lane. Azubu Frost, aggression everywhere, really picking things up.
So this is what you need to do, just really play with the mentality. They saw that their jungler was bottom. We saw Odd One up top, even though he was a little bit behind. Shy still very aware of the limitations, was able to get a kill in a 2v1, and looks like Dragon will come out of this at 10 minutes into the game for Azubu Frost.
There you go. That's what happens when you pick up kills like that. You take map control and you convert that into some kind of major advantage. Pretty soon you'll see turret pressure as well being the name of the game, but with no 2-on-1 lanes here, none of the lane swaps happening, there's not any easy turret kills overall. Neither of these teams really picked heavy pushing champions, Misfortune and Ezreal both. They've got to rely kind of on their ultimates to shove minion waves down. It's not like Graves or Sivir where you can kind of shove passively just by spending a bit of mana and just kind of relying on basic abilities here. So you're not seeing a lot of uber turret aggression because none of the champions are really set up for it just yet. But pretty soon, I think we're kind of at the stage now, people have enough items that the next major champion killer team fight will turn into a turret.
Clearing the mid lane here. Lux just trying to push with that laser. The cooldown for that final spark is now 60 seconds, very short there. We're going to see if they can capitalize on more kills. Right now, Rapidstar really using that to get himself an assist and clear his lane. Continuing to farm. It's 101 to 105 for those mid lane carries as they come into their minion kills. Catalyst the Protector going out for Reginald to keep himself sustained, and the Chalice for Rapidstar along with that blue buff. I believe Reginald also wearing his blue buff is looking to lose that in just a few seconds. Still, so many wards coming out for Azubu Frost to keep control of this map. It is 4-2. They're dictating some of this with a 2,000 gold lead. They did get Dragon, so they have the timer on that, and we'll have to see. I believe in just a few minutes that red buff will come back up, and Cloud Templar has that timer.
Yeah, it should be the next, I think, roughly 30 seconds or so, in about under a minute for sure. And now you're going to see how these lanes are shaping up here. So with those kills happening in the bottom lane, it's a little bit tougher here for Chaos, but they're still not that far behind in items that they can't win a battle, especially with the odd one lurking around. Now having an Oracle's Elixir is able to sweep out wards and keep the opposing team blind. You see, just by showing up like that, they forced Azubu Frost to play passively. Misfortune not able to last hit successfully because she doesn't know if odd one's waiting around in the wings. Blitzcrank ran around the back and dropped a ward in the river to watch one of the invasion paths, but they still have no idea if Odd1 might be lane sneaking or walking in from Tribrush. They don't have that vision anymore. In fact, Odd1 back into that bottom river just kind of bought some time between ward kills. He's going to wait for a bait here. They might try to pull Woong and Mad Life in.
Hopefully he keeps below that turret. Jay's pushing hard in up top, but we're now focused. The Odd One actually putting himself just under the fog of war of that ward. I don't think they saw him. He is going to be, however, be seen by that right there without the Oracle seeing it.
Oh, wow. He actually just walked a little bit too far north. He would have really liked to sweep that ward out. It just went down. So a lot of vision being given. That's going to let Shy play aggressively, knowing no one's there to help.
Dyrus with a turret that is very low. We see Maokai moving down towards mid. They're trying to counter onto this. That is Cloud Templar trying for the counter gank here, knowing that he was going to be there from the ward. Very good play. They both actually stalemate off of that and head back to their jungle. Cloud Templar is still looking, however, for the Odd One here. Going to try to clear out this ward, getting caught by the Wall of Pain, but he has the crowd control to get out from Rapidstar and himself, actually. Nothing goes down there, but you can see these players reading each other like books.
Go for the pressure. Wow, Dyrus, so much burst. This is going to be the Ignite kill.
Yep.
Yes, it is.
Very nice play there. Coming out Shy. Once again, playing to that top caliber level. Just pushing Dyrus out of lane. Hasn't even really needed that much help from Cloud Templar to do it either.
Yeah, that was the only kill he needed. He needed that one gank from Cloud Templar. That was enough to snowball ahead. That's how Darius lanes work. Is if someone gets ahead a little bit, it's probably going to stay that way as long as it was a neutral match from the start. That kill does translate into a turret here. Shy had been pushing it down the entire time, knowing that Dyrus did not have the tools to stop the push or punish him for it. He had that ward down the entire time, and he's going to find Reginald in the jungle.
Shy looking so hurt here. He does take a hit. Reginald is moving away. Requiem is up. He goes for the cast. We're going to watch Shy, and he's still alive. 60 HP on the life. And they're now focusing on that blue. They know they pushed Reginald out. They have the complete force there. And it looks like a laser just being fired off to stop him from backing if they could do it blindly and cost them more time on the lane.
And this is going to be a blue steal overall, though. The Oracle's Elixir ensuring that no one was around and no one could see that it was, able to get stolen. It's not like it's, Lux on the other side. Lux is probably going to pull out some kind of miraculous steal at some point this game, as long as they have the vision for it. That final spark really coming in handy as these fights move across the map. So now Azubu Frost is in a place where they're up 4,000 gold. All of their lanes, I wouldn't say their bottom lane is winning, even though they got that gank earlier coming in from the jungle. But I think they're doing better in mid, and they're doing better up top. And their jungler, actually about equal standing. So really all their advantage is going to be on Shy right now. So if I'm Azubu Frost, I realize that Shy is the main player. We want to kind of keep that top lane as it is for a Mad Life with a nice rocket grab there, picks up that minion. But right now, it's relying on Shy. He's the big force here. Everyone else is holding their own, and they've got to realize that in a team fight, that if Shy goes down, they've got no tools left. They have to make sure that he plays successfully in these fights, and they don't get overconfident with their 3-kill lead, because they're all in one source here.
So we do see the Unholy Grail being picked up, the Rod of Ages onto Reginald. That has ticked quite a bit now, 54 health and 60 mana gain from that with 6 ability power. Let's see what they can do to return themselves from lane. We do see Jace now in middle. That top turret has been destroyed, so Azubu Frost enjoying their roam. We saw this against Invictus, that they had 5-man roams going on before even all the turrets were down. But right now they have Jace to roam out, and it looks like he's not really going for too much of a tanky build, but a lot more damage, as it appears to be a Bloodthirster next.
Well, that's going to be really them just going for damage output, and this is the build we really saw from Miss Fortune as well. Is she's really relying actually more on that ultimate for the damage, and not as much the basic attacks overall. So the Bloodthirster is the most efficient way to stack just bonus attack damage of any item in the game. So she's trying to build that up and really rely on just scaling that bullet time and relying on sort of a team fight effort. They've got Maokai, they've got Lux, they've got a lot of team fight potential, a lot of area of effect. They're going to really have that kind of thing running. Team Solo Mid realizing with players off the map, they've got to prioritize turret kills as major sources of gold. They've still not got the map control to challenge Dragon. They've still not got the map control to force ganks or fights easily. But anytime Frost is off the map, and hidden away, they're going to go for something on the other corner. And I don't know if I like Frost really trading turrets for dragons, because they do have total map control. They do have the ability to force any kind of situation they want. And instead they're saying, you know what, yeah, we'll trade objectives with you.
We're still seeing a bottom, as looks like Chaos and Xpecial now. This would be perfect if they could keep them from backing, putting on just enough pressure for Darius and Shyvana up top to take down those towers. It looks like they're backing as well, though. And Chaos is just going to go back to farming down. See, actually, top lane has backed, and Azubu Frost is going to use this to their advantage, taking out the jungle to themselves, making sure that they have full control aggressively, and they keep Xpecial and Chaos at their turret. The pings are going down. I believe those are coming from Team Solo Mid, and it looks like Maokai and Blitzcrank will enter the jungle. I don't know what, but Azubu Frost feels more comfortable in TSM's jungle than their own.
They know they're ahead. They know that they've got Jace around, and Jace is the big playmaker here. There's no one really on Solo Mid's roster to stop him. You don't have a lot of items overall on the other side here, so nothing is around to keep Shy down and keep Shy from killing everything in sight. So as long as he's nearby, Azubu Frost will be completely confident. There's the light fighting the pull on Reginald. All that burst! Reggie, may he get out? He does! He's going to survive that one just barely. And imagine if Shy were there, he would have gotten completely dropped out.
A quick step to the left saves Reginald from taking down by Final Spark, but it looks like this turret will drop. They have prepped it quite well throughout the gameplay so far. 18 minutes in, a third turret will fall for Team Solo Mid. 5-2, and they are down 6,000 gold. The biggest deficit at this time in any game this tournament.
And this is Frost saying, hey, we want that burst damage there. We want to go for the pressure in a mid-game fight. Jace and Miss Fortune now both completing Bloodthirsters, really scaling up their ability damage and saying, when a fight starts, we're going to do a lot of damage all in the next 3 seconds together. And that's when you get someone like Lux, someone like Miss Fortune, Jace, etc. They are all burst damage. They're all forced on dealing damage to one or a few targets right away. That's going to keep being the case. Those targets will take a lot of damage in fights.
Dyrus gets the Power Fist, or rather the Rocket Grab, to go right through the cape there, just making it out. Beautiful ward placement coming from Azubu Frost. And like I said, it's completely aggressive. They want to get every single kill that they can, and they want to do it one by one. Like I said, Team Solo Mid does not make very many mistakes in team fights. We have not seen that full fight yet. It may be huge for them. They have good area of effect coming into the fight. We'll have to see if they can utilize Reginald all the way through. He's not afraid to play that zombie Karthus, and will initiate fight with Requiem as well if he has to.
And this is going to be a scary situation, though, because really zombie Karthus without a lot of ability power won't matter very much. The thing to realize is Rapid Star has low cooldowns and a lot of ability power. His shield is going to help his teammates for 160 health on each way through. If he can land that perfectly, Rapid Star on Lux, that shield's going to be brutal. It's 80 plus 80 each way through. And Karthus, without yet a death cap, isn't really putting out that much damage. He can pretty much full shield Requiem if they have magic resist. When you consider that Cloud Templar is there with his ultimate, that Vengeful Maelstrom lowers lowering damage that teammates take by 20%, there's no way Reginald kills anything right now.
Here comes a true shot barrage. There's a shield onto Reginald going into the middle of the fight. As I said before, the Dragon Descent taking down Shy. That money goes to Reginald and it is very much needed. The rest of the fight, like I said, initiated with Requiem. Here comes bullet time. Oh, Misfortune flashing the upper hand. Beautiful job by Woong. The fast fingers almost keeping him alive. But the Phage and Red proc. A grab. Woong could get out alive, but he's still faced in the pinch right now. Too much in the pickle. They get their crescendo to finalize it. Oh, beautiful laser from Rapid Star. 6-4 to end off the fight. And TSM says that's enough for now.
And I am cursed in calls. 5 seconds after saying Reginald won't kill anything, he kills off Shy. I am good at this game. But, and you know, that's what happens when Shy gets caught out. That team does have crowd control. That team can lock up somebody and make him regret life a little bit. That's exactly what happened to Shy. He was a bit overcommitted. He got found out there, and they just burned exhaust and wall of pain and chase. He did fall down there. And again, without Shy, there's not a lot of team fight here for Azubu Frost. Again, you see that gold lead 6,000, actually really more like 5,500. That, wow, I can't do math. 4,000, 5,500, whatever. Anyway, continuing on, you know, that gold lead is there, but again, it's mostly on that one source. He's got a lot of minions and most of the kills on the team. He is the rich one, and you know, without Shy there, they don't have that same kind of team fight. That replay comes on that you're going to see as they jump in, trying to pick off there, and it's a lot of damage onto Woong. The pull's going to keep him safe a little bit, and you're going to see him go for the duel. A lot of damage being out the Chaos, but the exhaust is much, and then you realize he's one hit from dead, must pull out the crescendo, and then that laser, the last second, Rapid Star, continuing to pad his pockets with gold, picks up the trade.
Yeah, he double stepped there a little bit. Chaos actually walked right back into the laser, but now back alive, getting hit with that light binding. The harassment so strong from Lux. Very nice. Getting the damage out, free for the trade. That laser is once again up. That just took down Chaos, so he has to be very careful. And with the double buff coming out, Rapid Star picking those up in that last fight is just able to throw out his spells, continuously shield his team, and be such a factor for a fight engagement. Lux's range is absolutely amazing. You can see her just trying to throw out damage from every angle. Blitzcrank would throw out the fist. Mad Life actually could go to one of these sides here and try to initiate a fight by pulling through the forest. And it looks like they take down that second turret. Only one turret has been dropped by Azubu Frost. Usually we'll see TSM holding their turrets for the longest portion of the game. 22 minutes in, we're now looking for an inhibitor turret freak.
And they're going to keep trying this. They want to play aggressively. They've got, like I said, that poke-oriented team. They've got a lot of long-range engagements. And normally I'd say that's not too harsh for TSM because, hey, they've got Sona. Special's going to be able to heal some people, but she's only got that rank 3 of the heal. She's not putting out that much health per second, and they're constantly putting damage output over and over. Dyrus now down to half health. Look at that. Fight hasn't even started, and they're still very, very low, hard to engage.
Here we go, coming out. They do land the wall of pain. They're forcing some flashes here, but they got to be careful about the reinitiation. Good dodge on bullet time. Here it comes. Chaos is out of the fight. The crescendo goes down. The dunk onto Jace. Dyrus coming up huge, and Woong forced a turn. He knows he's going down. Reginald pulled in. You do not want to pull a card this. Another dunk and double kill for Dyrus.
Wow, that team, Azubu Frost getting just slightly overconfident and getting caught out. TSM's team fight presence is so good. They're down in gold. They've got a lot of scary situations. They're low on health. They say, no, guys, here's a champion who is killable. Everyone go right now. You saw them dive in unison to pick these up. This is really Team Solamid knowing exactly how to play as a team. And that is what it takes to play this level of competition. You're down in gold. Things get scary, your health is getting low. As long as you make decisions correctly as a group of players and you play in unison, you will pull things back around. Dyrus had such a horrible early on, but he's now coming back into his own. Let's check out a replay of that last fight. You can see the poke coming in. There's the haste coming back out. It looks like they're safe. They enter in back on a Chaos. Shy wants it, but now he's completely overextended. Crescendo into pull, and the burst damage everywhere, just completely dropping onto him. His team was not ready to re-engage there. Woong, the same place, just gets caught by the wall of pain. The slow is too much for him, and he could not get away safely. His team, again, not ready to re-engage.
So we will see a Dragon at 30-10. As we just had Azubu Frost take that once again. Last time we saw them take it, it was quite a hard top lane push by the Odd One and Dyrus. Right now, they're finally controlling their own red. I think as the third one, they will be taking this, or the fourth one rather. So back into their jungle. Cloud Templar now with more things to focus on as the fight initiations are really starting to come into play here. 6-6 as TSM has evened it up. team fight presence, like you said, Freak, just so strong. The ability for Reginald to run in and Dyrus as well to just wreak havoc on the fight. Chaos in and out, really blew some cooldowns for Shy there, and he got himself caught out. If they can do that over and over, this is where TSM stops making their mistakes. The less mistakes, the more you win. At 25 minutes into the game, they're only down 7,000, just about 6,000 gold as they're cresting that 30,000 mark. But they are still down 3 turrets, and that's a lot of map control for you.
It's really difficult overall. Exactly. There's a lot of room for Azubu Frost to move around and create a lot of sticky situations. Now, yeah, this is the point where Team Solo Mid does not want to make any mistakes and get caught out. But Frost's lineup is all about creating those mistakes out of nothing, of making a champion out of position just because they kind of will them to be that way. Madlet, he lands a rocket grab. I mean, you've got to be so far away from enemy teams to make sure you don't get rocket grabbed. It's very, very difficult. The same thing here for Rapid Star. He can put a slow on you from thousands of range away. He can root you from that same distance. You can get caught out by seemingly nothing at any time from this Frost lineup, and you can just see their confidence in their abilities. They're going to go back for the front door. They don't even care about side turrets. They don't care about Baron. They don't want to bait anything. They're just going to go for the pressure here with their long-range team. This mid-game push makes a lot of sense. This Frost lineup, it is a mid-game push team. If you go into them, well, guess what? They've got the acceleration gate from Shy, from Jace. They've got the vengeful Maelstrom here from Maokai. How do you team fight Azubu Frost when they want to be team fought? How do you stop that push when they just want to be together as a group and they're just going to keep poking at you?
All this damage from so far away, and they haven't even really seen much of TSM other than ward coverage. Azubu Frost moving out here. Looks like they will start to mill back towards down the bottom of the map. That Baron objective to be grabbed. 3 wards are on that position for TSM Freak, and I think they know that the capitalizing point of this match is going to come from that Baron dance. Looks like the odd one with an Oracle's back on himself. Aegis of the Legion being purchased by Mad Life. If they get some more core items under their belt to synergize with the team. Shy trying to get himself some mitigation on damage now as he did go for the Bloodthirster into the Hex Drinker. Good movement from Maokai, assisting the team with that speed steroid from Shirelia's, as well as his Boots of Mobility. Boots of Mobility actually on Maokai and Blitzcrank. So they're going to be looking to grab somebody who's really trailing behind on any of these fight reinitiations. We've seen it a lot. Mad Life has had great pulls this game, but Dyrus as well. The apprehends, forcing flashes, and coming out strong. He is one of the tankier ones on that team, and we see Dyrus also going for some of that split push build slash I'm going to be in the fight and take down your team by myself build.
So Azubu Frost, again, their lineup is about really forcing these engagements. The Boots of Mobility you mentioned a little while ago, that plays, it makes a lot of sense there. They want to just get enough in a position that they can kind of capitalize. Shirelia's Reverie is going to need to be built up pretty soon. They don't have one yet. I'm surprised at that, but they would like to have one soon. A lot of bursts. Look at that. The long-range poke tossing out a bunch of ultimates because, yeah, if they can bring KX down to low health, why not just do that and set up really good situations? You can see they've taken out a turret as a result of this. They're like 1,500 range area of effect spells just forced Team Solo Mid to evacuate their own turrets. And yeah, okay, Frost has a 7,000 gold lead. Of course, that's a significant margin to be ahead, but they're just able to force Solo Mid away from their own base because they can just hit them from so far away over and over and drop their health bars down.
Also continuously just keeping that vision anywhere they need to. They have vision of the entire team, so they know they're not being flanked, and they can just sit here all day long. You can see just how many wards they have in the jungle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 in that bottom and 2 in the top jungle. They're not even in right now. So they're just waiting to take more experience, deny those buffs, and deny